When I first saw that self-taught legend thing, I didn't know the context.
You know who you're talking to? A self-taught fucking legend.
There's a guitarist who was going to the Smalls Jam session in New York multiple days over Christmas time, holiday time, 24th, 25th, 26th, was just kept going. And they were not particularly good, not at the level that everyone else was at. And also calling inappropriate things like tunes that nobody else would ever play at Smalls, or very rarely, very unlikely to hear those tunes called at the jam session. Smalls.
Do you know Idle Moments? Do you know Midnight Blue? Do you know Chitlins Con Carne? Armando's Roomba? Spain. Let's play Spain. Do you know Africa?
And then furthermore, heckling people and insulting people constantly.
What's this supposed to be?
Well, play something complaining. And, God damn it, the hecklers, put them out of here. I would sort of cry. Thank you, Merry Christmas. Shh. God damn it. What's your language, Joey?
So in my many years of running jam sessions for Cypher, it's been 11 years going on 12. I've had to refuse people from the jam, based on speaking to them and realizing they're not a good fit. I've had to remove people mid-song. I've had to end jams. I've had to end jams prematurely because it wasn't happening. I've even had to physically stop somebody who was about to interrupt someone else, right? Somebody else doing a verse, somebody starts a guitar solo. That ain't right. You got to stop the guitar solo. I've gotten shit for this, and I think deservedly so. At the end of the day, I'm doing this because of my responsibility to the audience. And by the audience, I mean not just the people physically in the audience, but the musicians themselves are the audience. We all want to enjoy good music in this scenario. And when somebody does not quite get everything, and I'm not trying to fault a person for not getting it. Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone has to learn these things. But when somebody does not get it, we sometimes have to physically stop them, either prematurely before they even come up on stage or during the jam, which is what we don't want. The reason why we stop somebody before they even come up is because we don't want to stop them during the jam. And unfortunately, this is the job that we have as jam session hosts, because at the end of the day, it's our game. And so when people come to Cypher, the majority of the audience that comes to Cypher is not a performer. They're there to hear some good music, maybe see how we work things out. It's a problem-solving show in a certain way. And when you see stuff that just makes you go like, I'm leaving, I don't like this, I'm leaving, well, then that falls on me. So it's unfortunately our responsibility to try to prevent those things from happening. Of course, even the greatest musicians of the world who understand the etiquette of a jam and all this kind of stuff, they can still mess up, they can still do something bad, but at least our heart is in the right place. The whole self-taught legend thing is I'm sure much deeper than that. What I saw in that was not just problems from that one person, but there was many other problems and many other musicians doing bad things. I would include in the list of doing bad things as not preventing this from happening, not stopping this from happening. To me, that's critical for running a jam. But look, everyone is different, and the New York scene is completely different from the scene here, both in good and bad ways. But yeah, that's I think that's part of our responsibility. Not knowing proper jam etiquette is a teachable moment. Sometimes that teaching has to be rough, has to be brusque, because c'est dans le moment, il faut dire quelque chose, and we're playing, and there's people on stage, there's people watching. We got to do something. I personally will never forget, this was not a jam, but I was invited to play on somebody's gig at Billy Coon. The guy who invited me was a piano player, older guy, and mid-tune, he yelled at me and he said, "Would you play the fucking melody?" Of course it was embarrassing, but you know what? He was right. I was noodling around. I was doing stupid stuff. And guess what? That lesson has stayed with me. Now, I'm not saying we need to frickin', yell at people on stage and all that kind of thing. I'm not all about that. But those are important lessons to be taught to somebody. Sometimes it is happening in real time, and sometimes that's the only way, unfortunately. Unfortunately for the embarrassment, but it's also for the good of everyone else there. And if that person doesn't take it personally, if they realize that this is just in the moment, this is what's happening, like me, it will stick with you. It'll stick with you, and hopefully you'll be like, yeah, okay, I was noodling. I shouldn't be doing that. I should respect the melody. I should do this, blah, 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 blah. So teachable moment, you can come out positively from this. And I think this little message for the jam session hosts out there, I think by avoiding confrontation, we can make the experience worse for everyone else. So because you don't want to hurt one person's feelings, you're hurting everyone else's feelings or making them have a bad time. Finally, I just want to say I'm not making an excuse for the times that I have refused somebody or all this kind of thing. I have had numerous people over the years come to me and say, hey, you know, I know who you are because you refused to let me up on stage and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? I made a call. I had to make a call. Maybe it was the right call. Maybe it was the wrong call. But I had to make the call. And it's not just about you. It's not just about one individual, but it's about everybody. The difference between an open mic and a jam, I've said this many times, at an open mic, you get to 2 minutes, you can do whatever you want. At a jam session, the other people on stage have to want to play with you. And if for whatever reason, it's not a good fit and the other people don't want to play with you,
get out of here. Get out. No one wants you here. Get out of here.
That's ain't your playground.
we all started somewhere. We all get better over time. However, it is also important to take criticism and not take it as an attack, but just purely take it as criticism. Also, as people sometimes giving criticism, we have to be very careful about how it's worded to have a net positive so that the criticism results in the goal that we're searching for. The criticism is not because we want to attack somebody. The criticism is because we want to make somebody better or make an event better. So find ways to communicate that a little bit better. That's it. A big, serious video to start off 2026. I'm Vincent Stephen Ong. This is the Cypher X every Thursday. O Patro Vis. We'll see you soon.
Never sang with the band before.